All right, what's up, everybody? I'll give this just a couple minutes. I'm going to jump over here to Facebook real quick. See if this is actually sharing. Hey, yeah, it is. Cool. Okay. Give it a minute or two. My area is absolutely destroyed down here, so we'll get to that after Frank's race because I don't think I'm going to have any time to do it. I don't think I'm going to have any time before we have the Legends race and Frank's race, so it's going to have to stay destroyed down here. What's up, Robert, Benjamin, Lee? Long time no see. Mr. Chip, Brown, Bill, Bob. What's up, Drew? All right, Mr. Greer, how's it going? I wanted to try and make it down to you guys' Black Swamp race there to run a little bit of on road, but that didn't happen. Been a little busy. So hopefully I'll get down there and run with you guys soon. It'll be fun to see everybody again. All right, a couple more and we'll get rolling. Because, I didn't bring any tires down. What's up, Jordan? How you feeling? What's up, Phil? Thanks, Mike. Great weekend for you guys, too. Very, very awesome. A lot of fun. Let's see. All right, we'll get going. All right, so as everybody saw, we had bring the extra sauce with you. No extra sauce. As you guys saw, we had a pretty good weekend there at Straightline. Kind of looking back on everything, it's been a pretty rough go, but it's been one of those things where I kind of expected, or I wouldn't say expected, but I kind of told everybody, I kind of figured that, anytime you have a new product and, people are starting to get on it and we start getting more passes and more learning with it, it's going to take 3 to 6 months. That's my, my kind of typical thoughts on developing product and working in the RC industry over all these years. Sometimes you get lucky and you win some early, or if, you really hit it out of the park and everything's perfect. But, usually that 3 to 6 months is kind of the timeline. And this race was actually on my kind of calendar as far as being a big target as far as, where I hope that we would be on par competitive and having a really solid shot to win. So, all the testing with Rick beforehand, and with Dave and Chris Sanchez and everybody else running before, I really thought we had a good chance, as a tire brand, plus all these other guys, getting their cars and their equipment more dialed in before the race. So overall, I was super happy. And honestly, I did not expect or plan on racing at all. I was perfectly content sitting and gluing tires. So for me, that was, friggin' Chad. So I have to definitely thank Chad. The crazy Canadian, was insistent that I was going to race. He went over to a 5-star tent and bought a transmitter. That was the same as Rick's M17. And so I kind of felt guilty. I was running Rick's car, so I want to somewhat apologize and shout out to, to KO Propo and Racer RC, because Rick's cars. He runs a M17, and he had chosen to come to Straightline with the Raw Speed Manta, I believe is what he had on there. And so that's what we ran. But they set up the radio stuff. I got to run Rick's cars. I only made one practice hit on Saturday morning, but I mean, Rick's put in so much work, so much work, dialing his stuff in that it's pretty easy. It was pretty easy, except when I kept screwing up the radio because I kept hitting the wrong trim buttons to try and like put some more dual rate in it and adjust the steering trim. I had the one messed up, so I wound up trying to put right trim in it. Instead, I was taking dual rate out. So that's why I kind of made some chaos with bouncing off the wall there with my buy run. And then I had a little bit of a stressful moment there with Travis, the winner of King of the Streets, which I already messaged him and apologized for yelling at him. My old racer self came out, and I had yelled at him, not because I believed any of the things that I had said, but just to kind of like get his attention and make him stop to buy myself a few seconds, because I just really wanted to race him. I actually have a lot of respect for Travis. The way he works and thinks and all that kind of stuff. I just genuinely really wanted to race him. So even if it was enough to make him kind of pause for a second, wait a minute, what did he say? And give me a few seconds to where I could race with him. Honestly, I was bummed. He ended up tapping the throttle and his car lurched forward, which I know he totally messed up his tires in the prep. At that point, I knew he was in trouble. If I would have had my way, I know we already stalled everything back. I really wish we could have done that whole thing differently with Scotty and gone back and just totally reran that race. I would have loved to have done that and raced him 100% proper. I wasn't trying to play any starting line games. I totally screwed up with trying to get my radio set, and with me taking so long doing that, we were late getting up there and getting the throttle profile loaded back into it from a trim profile to be able to set the radio up. So that was 100% rookie mistake on my behalf. So I apologize to Travis, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him up here at Frank's race here in Pontiac next weekend. And hopefully we get to line up together, even if it's in practice or whatever, and race and have some laughs and some fun. So let's see. As far as the race goes, otherwise, it was a blast. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Yeti. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rick number 2 or number 1, or however you want to consider it, with Rick Vessel and Rick Talbot. Of course, all the Custom Works team. It was kind of funny seeing how many cars had our tires on that, especially guys that really didn't seem to really want to try them, but they tried them and everything was really good. So that was awesome too. Going some rounds and I was a little bit worried. I will say I was a little bit worried about running rounds just because over the years, I've got used to Scotty's voice and, the announcers that we go on the tone for normal on-road racing. So this was the first time I got to race, off a light, so just the audio versus visual thing. I was a little bit wondering how that was going to go, but I think I was decent on the tree. So that was okay. From there, I don't think the race could have gone any from my perspective and everything. I don't think it really could have gone any better, period. The two guys that, in my opinion, have worked the hardest and given me as a company guy trying to develop product, like, consistent, constant feedback and reports and data and everything. Rick and Dave have been by far my best two guys as far as giving me information to help push the tires forward and develop things. So, regardless of that, I have to thank them both tremendously. Not to mention their results. I think, their results 100% are deserved. The only thing that would have made this even better is if Rick would have beat Dave in his bracket and I would have lost to Dave in my bracket. So it was those two racing for the finals. For me personally, that would have been ideal. But you know, I do also have to give a shout out for the Custom Works team. Kind of a bummer from them. This is another one that they are really close to winning, and another couple cars in the top four and cars in the final, and ended up second. Um, so I felt for them, and that was one of the things. Like once we had the top four locked up, I was kind of like, I don't care. And then it was, oh, wait a minute, Max and the whole Custom Works team has been so amazing to me that I can't slack. I got to try and get this for them. So again, huge shout out to Max and Rob and Faith and and Cam and Kyle and Joe and Lee and Steve and Carl, and like I said, that whole group is just an absolute blast to race with. A lot of them are old school, either oval or dirt oval racers, that I've enjoyed racing with over the years. So again, just for me, it was just an absolutely awesome weekend, and the results, the way they went, were just kind of icing on the cake. So I also want to give a huge thank you to Rock and Dibs. Way back when I first made the very first Gen 2 samples, I kind of sent them to a bunch of different people and just said, hey, give these a try. Please just, I know the problems we had before, take it easy on them. Don't hurt your cars. But if you could try and just let me know if you think I'm going the right direction, I would greatly appreciate it. And Dibs got them, ran them, talked to Rock. Then they kind of got sent around the country a little bit. And from there, it just kind of snowballed. And next thing I know, the R1 team, that group of them decided to switch and run our tires for the season. And I know a lot of people thought they were crazy and going backwards. But, I have to give them huge props for taking the gamble and, believing in me to get my stuff together. So I can't thank Dibs and Rock enough. Thank you guys so much. This is all you guys' belief and help and getting your team running our stuff that kind of helped start the snowball. So I know, again, everybody wanted to have more success right away, starting with Vegas, but but I knew this was going to be a little bit of an uphill battle in a learning session, and that's what it's been. But I think we got a pretty good handle on it now. So with that being said, what did we run? We ran with Rick and I. We ran Gen 2 whites with the Pro HR foam, which thank you all for the orders, because you guys totally cleaned me out after the race. So luckily I had already placed more orders for foam before the race. So hopefully that'll be ready at the end of this week. I know everybody's on me about, wanting their pre-mounts and wanting to get everything for Frank's race and for the race in Oregon coming up. So I'm going to do my absolute best to not sleep very much the next 2 days and get as many of those glued and out the door. I think I can get most all the orders out in that respect. I also have to give a giant thank you to my family. My house is destroyed. There's stuff everywhere. My wife has been away with my oldest, or my youngest rather, Anna, at Clarkston and Harvard and the Tier 1 Hockey Academy for hockey for like the last month. So also Angel's dad had a stroke and has been recovering. So he has actually come and moved in with us while he's recovering. So while I've been running around with my day job and trying to help with him when I can, but also the company and the races and everything else, my oldest Allie has been a machine. I don't know how the kid's still standing, because I know she's messed up a few orders and I've right away tried to get stuff out for a few people, but for her to step up and do the the amount of boxes and orders and everything she's been doing all on her own, and driving Grandpa Mark back and forth to PT and OT and everything like that. Like again, I can't thank her enough. She's been incredible this last month. So when you guys get pro foams, she's usually the one the one gluing them, and Anna is typically helping me with all the pre-mounts. So it really sucks that she's been gone for a month because I'm so far behind and having trouble keeping up. But she should be back this Sunday. She'll be back from all of her hockey stuff. So I'm really looking forward to having Angel and Anna back to help us. So again, I know it's a thrash and races are coming up, but we're definitely going to try and catch up and ramp all this up as fast as we can. Hopefully this will be one of my last videos in this spot. After Frank's race, I know I have to get some mounting videos and stuff up for everybody. I really apologize on delaying on all that. After this, though, we're going to get the other room finished upstairs. It's all drywalled. I just got to finish the mudding and sanding and that stuff. I really wish I knew somebody very good at that, because I would just hire them at this point to come finish it for me. So if anybody knows anyone local in the Detroit area that's, a drywall guy, like, let me know. I wanted to have that room done for my wife, but all this has kind of gone even crazier than expected. So it's not done. So with that being said, let's see what else. Oh yeah, Rick and I ran weights in that. Dave won on pinks and double stuffs. I saw that Dave used pink lemonade for his conditioning. As far as I know, Dave only runs regular OG Get Stuck. How many coats and all that kind of stuff, I don't know for sure. With Rick and myself, we used just heating the tires, about 120, coat a wop, let it sit for about 5 minutes, heat again, 4 coats of Get Stuck with like a final heat kind of pass and cure on them, and then a final coat, and we went to tech and finished the heating there. So that was our process. Pretty simple. I know a lot of the other Custom Works guys ran C1 from Mike Bush and BBM. They ran C1 conditioner and the tar prep that he makes in a very similar process. What's up, Rufus? So there was that, and then I think Max and Cam and some of the guys, I forget the name of it. Max gave me a bottle, but I don't have it with me. TD, I don't know. I don't remember. I'll try and post some of that stuff or do videos on some of these guys' different processes later. Maybe at Frank's race, because I think Max is going to come back out for that. So it wasn't like we had found like one magical prep and conditioning routine. It was just kind of an overall process for everybody that kind of matched their program and how they like to do things. So that was the other nice part, is it wasn't like we had one set way that, there you go, FDG red. So that was the dirt oval conditioner that they were using as like dirt oval prep rather, that they were using as like a conditioner, and then they were just running Get Stuck as well, I believe. So like I said, it was really nice to have a couple different processes, both whites and pinks running well, just different setups. So in that respect, everything was pretty good. Everybody was on wide wheels. So what happened to me in the final race, I know a bunch of people think I blew a speed controller or whatever. I didn't. So I'm the tire guy, and the tire guy stripped a hex. So, but I don't think it was a true like strip. I actually, if you'd seen it, I was terrible in shutdown. Like I had a really hard time with the brakes and some of the way Rick had the radio set up. Very, very different, again, totally different radio than I've ever run before in the past. So I was, yes, I will pin them for sure. We actually bought Dustin Malakote's hexes and his drilling fixture. I jinxed myself because I went over by Dustin. I bought some pinion gears and I bought the drilling stuff and some hexes. And I walked over and gave him to Rick, because Rick's pretty hard on stuff at Pontiac in testing. So I said, here you go, just so you have them, we can start using these later or whatever. and then I blew a hex in the main or in the final race, whatever. So, but I will say that I should have said something. I did see after me crashing and shut down, I did see that that right rear wheel had a pretty good wobble to it, and you know, I didn't want to stress Rick out with changing the tires on it or anything like that before the last race. But in hindsight, I should have, because the right rear one, I'm pretty sure from the crash I had probably jammed the hex in there kind of crooked or whatever from bouncing through the grass pretty good. So yeah, so kind of a bummer, but in the end, like I said, I think the right guy won. The R1 team is the group that really helped me get all this going, and like I said, I can't thank Dibs and Rock and Dave and Joey, Sam, the whole group. I know I'm not saying everybody's names because I'm still tired, but thank you to all you guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so overall it's been great. We're looking forward to getting to Frank's race. If you guys aren't coming, I think it's going to be a blast. I think my girls are going to be there also, and have like the tent set up with all the 3D printed fun and dragons and all that other good stuff. So that should be pretty cool to have them out. I am going to try to, I don't know how I'm going to have time, but I'm going to try to either recruit some of my on-road buddies to come help me slap together the girls DR10Ms from last year, and see if any of those guys want to come out and drive them to join in the fun out there. Yeah, so hopefully hopefully the weather's good and it should be a great race with Frank and Lindsay. So if you guys are on the fence about coming out, please do so. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Trying to make it quick and not super long-winded on everything. So I know it's Tuesday. It's not Monday. It feels like Monday. Let's see. Thanks, Jake. Let's see. Peter, I will stop this one and maybe I'll go just get the stuff and just do a quick one to show everybody how I do them, the gluing, and then I'll make a proper one for the YouTube channel later. So, because I think a lot of people want to see how to glue the tires or how I'm gluing them. Matt Hirsch, can you develop some 12 scale rubber tires? Doesn't Scott Jakes do that? I thought he had kind of his supply issue fixed with getting his rims and all that stuff from TM Racing now. So, I mean, maybe, but honestly, for right now, my focus is just to keep the biggest focus right now is I don't want to invest in any other projects. I really want to focus on like our brand, some of just the, decals, shirts, hats, merch, the basic stuff like that, just to kind of get us packaging instead of just the crappy plastic bags. Some stuff like that. But also we still have small tweaks. I don't know if anybody realizes, but I know my team does. Every single batch of tires that we've done has been better. So the first batch we had some that were hit and miss. Our belt overlap was not as good as it should have been. We had done a lot of homework, but we just weren't confident in the durability of the new adhesive that we had worked on and found. So we waited until we had more test mileage on it. Wound up being really good. So the second batch that we had for Las Vegas was new and improved overlap and also a slight compound tweak. Then this latest batch of whites and that we've gotten in, again, have another very, very minor belt tweak, no compound change. The compound we're quite happy with. But the belt tweak, I think, did make this latest batch of belts even better. So we're just kind of every batch that we can, we're trying to, make a little tweak here or there and improve. We did have a totally different belt process of manufacturing that we got in that didn't help performance at all. It could have potentially, but it's a lot more expensive and we had a lot more failures during the mini cycle of trying to do them. So yeah, that was basically thrown aside. If we can figure out a better way to do those in the future, we will. But for right now, the way that our current tires and our current belts are is the way we're going to continue to push forward. Looking forward, my plans are, like I said, I've kind of incurred a lot of debt with all the money and testing and stuff. So I've thrown away since the Gen 2 project has started, probably about 380 pair of tires that had failed QC, or once we had made the belt overlap fix and the remaining stock I had thrown all away. So that's quite a bit of money that I've wanted to make sure didn't go out to all the racers. So for right now, I'm going to continue on my path as I always do, with anywhere from 2 to 3 sample tires of rubber and compounds for development. Jeez. And so we're going to continue pushing with that with each batch. And then next on the list for us, which probably won't come until 2024, we are going to do probably a new rear wheel. It'll be a wide wheel, have the fake beadlock look, looks a little more proper for drag racing, and then remove the air valves. So it'll probably take out about 5 grams per wheel, which for sure will be the lightest wheel we'll offer. Deeper hex, and I'm also probably going to automatically put the pinholes in the way that Dustin's drilling fixture is. That way nobody will even have to drill them. If they want to pin hexes, they can just plug and play, and they'll come like that right out of the tool. So I don't think I can do that this year. It's too much money, but it's something that if the sales and everything are good enough, and I can pay off some of my excessive spending here lately, then I'll definitely get started right away, so that we have it for next season and move forward from there. So also I want to say another thing. I know racers are pretty brutal. They were pretty brutal on me with some of the issues I had. I've already had manufacturers contact me that this kind of proves that that my way is compatible, or is competitive and probable for being the future direction that they feel tire development will go in this category. So as we've seen, Drag Race Concepts has already made rims for my tires. I know of other companies that are already developing product for 2024 that, it's RC. It's going to happen. That are basically copies of my stuff. They just let me know, hey, we're doing it, no offense type of a thing, which is what it is. So I know in 2024 that'll be coming. So when they make it, you don't have to beat them up. It is what it is. So we did the work, and everybody will kind of follow now that it's coming out. So, that's okay. So, let's see. Yeah, you've been here the whole time, Jeff. Thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. Yes, Rufus, we were on wide rims. Sorry, I'm going to start rolling through here. If you got any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments, and I'll start rolling through them here, so we don't make this thing too long, because I would rather have everybody hanging out with their families or wrenching on their cars and getting ready for Frank's race. So, Joseph, yeah, the double stuff medium with the V2 purples and pink is probably a bit stiff for true no prep. Again, you can use Frank's Pink Lemonade. You can use Invigorate. You can use WAP doesn't seem to be super aggressive. It seems to be pretty mild. For those, you can probably use some of the live action stuff. I don't know. Most of my guys haven't been using it, so I don't know, but I'm sure other people have been now, because I know our tires becoming more popular down south. So I think you just have to check around with what some of the other guys are using. I do know that some guys have also just been conditioning sidewalls to help soften up the sidewalls on the pinks or purples. And they've really liked doing that. I've heard more of that here in the last few weeks. Let's see. Yeah, Rufus, we are also going to be getting in test tires of the yellow and yellow green, and we did get some of the old V4 purple rubber in the Gen 2s just to see how those respond and react. Again, just to see, there are some cases, especially for dry tire, that those compounds are extremely good. They're extremely durable. You can do the heat, the burnouts, all the crazy nonsense to them, and they really hold up well. So, those tires those compounds just didn't work as well for the prep. Getting the prep to adhere and things like that was an issue with them. But in dry tire, they're really good, especially on particular surfaces. So that's another one of the things that I really want to get some mounted up and run, even with the V4s, to run around to some different surfaces and kind of highlight here soon once the family's home and we get through these next 2 weekends. So let's see. RJ, thank you, sir. Much appreciated. New Jersey in October. The problem with going to many more races, I think I'll probably do Frank's race, and then we'll do the Fall Classic, I think it is called, down in Maumee. And outside of that, I don't know if I'll be able to do anything else with my remaining vacation days from work. If I did, though, I would probably actually try and do a West Coast race. I would really like to get out to California or somewhere out there to bring Rick along with me and go race and again, experience different surface and different different situations, so we can learn and prepare ourselves more for next year as well. So that will be a big thing on my list for next year. Is I really would like to hit a couple extra races down south as well as West Coast. Maybe to race, but more so just to be able to be there and support customers and the race team that'll be attending. So let's see. Looper rims in magnesium. I have so many magnesium wheels here. Or I shouldn't say that. I have a lot of fronts. I have a fair amount of rears and a lot more rears coming. Yeah. So once again, it's all a money thing. Once it's allowed and I can work with Eddie at Team Brood to make that happen. We will definitely try and do some loopers in magnesium. I will definitely try and do that. That will be my next path on that. So let's see. Sounds good, Matt. We'll do our best to get them out quick. Chip, I think a few people have run the purples. The interesting thing that I know was tested is, the purples are pretty firm, maybe too firm. But the interesting part is the way they're made and the chemicals and the tackifier and all that kind of stuff. They actually accept conditioner a lot better. So it's really odd if you take them and heat them up, say in like a hot band or heat gun or whatever to like 150 degrees, and you condition them. You do that once or twice, they really soften up quick. They really accept conditioner really well. That's the one thing that I was very surprised about when I was testing some of the conditioners maybe a month ago outside. So they really soaked up conditioner really well. So for me, it was really interesting, as I wanted to do a few sets with different ones to see how they all reacted and performed with the tires. But just been way too busy to get around to do that kind of testing. So Again, one more thing that's on my list, but I just can't keep up right now. So if anyone wants to do that, let me know. I'd greatly appreciate it. Let's see. Let's see. Bill, Profoam, purple and white. So I think you guys have seen the different Profoams that we have. The outer diameter of the current purple Profoam, it was bigger, like a double stuff, but the core of the rim, or the core section, the purple, is like a I don't remember if it's I got I do I have it? I have it. See, I don't even remember what I drew and made. So that is about 3 1/8. So it's just slightly bigger than, say, what an SC rim would be. And that was the original test to see if we could control how much the tire would sit down on a hit. Um, the original double stuffs, when the glue gets really heavy, the tire really wants to flatten out hard. So that was the original premise for the Pro Foam, was just to kind of control how much the tire flattens out and at least try and match what the SC tires did. However, we wound up going even bigger, and that's the Pro HR, the high roller foam that we've been running at a lot of these big races, and we also now made for the SC tires. So the original Pro Purple is more like a double stuff and how that acts in, say, a Voodoo or a Sweep or a Proline tire or whatever. So that's where that one is. The red is kind of a redesign. The core is much larger, but the outer diameter is smaller. So we take some of the surface pretension out of the rubber, gets a little bounce out of the tire on the hit, which our tire tends to do, just because it is a wider tire. It tends to have a lot of grip on the hit. So that's one of the things that we've seen. And as racers have learned our tire, they've also learned their car setups. They do have to go a little bit stiffer oil or smaller piston or stiffer rear spring, or, as you've seen, a bunch of our guys are starting to run the really stiff wheelie bars. It really helps our tire get off the hit smoother. So it's been a big difference for improving the performance. But the Pro Foams and the Pro HRs, it's just a tuning thing based on what grip level you have with the track, and then how your car reacts with them. So a lot of people ask me exactly what to use. It's a tough call because it's really set up and car dependent. I know it's expensive, but the best way to figure out what you like and need is to try them. So we can suggest it, but our suggestion isn't always the best for your package. So I think that's why Dave ran pinks and we were on whites. We've done most of our testing with our customers' cars on whites, so that just works the best for us right now. So NRTV 20, Rick and I both ran Ghost Motors. They're really good. Nick Bell actually sent me one for my car, and as we drove away, apparently I missed the mail being delivered by a few minutes, so mine sat in the mailbox. So luckily Rick had a second one for me to run in his second car. So what's up, Frank? Good to see you this weekend. I do want to take you guys up on your Mario Kart and video games there. It'd be fun to play Mark with that. And yes, I did see Mark Vines live. He came over and talked to me a bit. Him and I had, talked some smack before the race, and we were going to race. He, with his travels and getting in late, and then his narrow car really not having a groove to run in, that really wasn't a fair race. So I told him, we don't have to hold anybody to the grudge race stuff. We'll have some fun with that another day, and I'll try and Rick, I think, has got a really good handle on all the prep tire stuff. So I'm actually going to build a Custom Works real street car and start doing a lot more tire testing on that. And again, one more thing for me to do, but if I can get one built, I might try and run it at Frank's race. So we'll see. What's up, Jonathan? What about you, Chad? What about you? Man, I'm like 7 minutes behind here scrolling down. What about me? Chad is always hilarious, always out of control. So we had like this crazy storm that come through. Chad has the world's heaviest generator. I don't know if you've seen this thing, but it's one of these giant brick Honda things, and he strapped it to his tent. And the winds were so bad, it picked up his entire tent with the generator and threw it on the 5-star pit. So, absolutely insane storm that came through. Oh, yes, I did want to mention this. Scotty's track, I had heard a lot before then about the grip and the surface and things that were going down. And I begged Scotty before the race. I said, look, I said, I know I've mentioned this many a times. I said, and I still think back to the A scale on road days and all these races. And man, one of the biggest things I see that's difficult with no prep, and especially when we go to these races, is everybody wants the true no prep, clean road. The problem is especially when you start laying down so much prep, the multi-groove deal setup helps everything a ton. I think that is 100% at a minimum the way that all these races need to go. But also being that Scotty in those, or it wasn't even Scotty that I know of. I think it was actually the drag facility to try and make sure that the asphalt was okay after the cleaning and the torching that they did when they cleaned it a few weeks before. They decided to treat it like the real drag track and give it a coat to kind of hold it together. I don't know what they sprayed. It wasn't like tacky, like like you would think, like they sprayed it with VHT. So whatever they used, though, like Mark said in his live, was awesome. The biggest thing about that is it actually made like the entire lane usable. Like it wasn't like you had to be in this very narrow section to have grip, and if you went offline, you had nothing. Guys could steer, you could drive it down to the line, and that's why I think you had so many phenomenal races. So in that respect, I think that was a huge part of why the race was so good. You saw so many fast times, and to me, that's kind of what I've been talking about on some of my Facebook posts about, just spray it. Just spray it with some sugar, spray it with something to tack the dust and loose stuff down, and just give it enough to where if a guy gets offline, they can correct it and bring it down to the finish. You tear up less cars, you have lots of better races. So to me, again, Scotty did a phenomenal job. I can't thank him enough too. I'm really looking forward to seeing him and all the old guys at the Legends race this weekend in Chicago. So I'll definitely share links to that when we're doing that. You guys can watch me beat down some walls with all the old legends of RC that they're going to have us out. So that'll be a lot of fun. I think Paul Lemieux already said he's punting me off the track, and that happened all the time anyway. So it'll just be another on-road race. So yeah, Chad, apparently they moved in the parking lot. So we walked out and we're like, well, Rick doesn't have a ride back. Okay. So we just hopped on the tailgate and rolled back. So, yeah, it was fun though. It was fun. Let's see. Did we run the magnesium rear? So I did not, because I didn't trust myself. Rick was kind of set with his tires that he had and had run in and didn't really want to change anything. Joey and Steve Vero both ran the magnesium rears. In hindsight, I really wish I would have. They look really cool. They're crazy light. I can't even describe it. I know a few guys, like I let check them out, and then they like, can I go show somebody this? And they'd like disappear off into the pits with them and bring them back a little while later. So they're preposterous. Like, it's one of those things that you like take it out of the tissue paper and you're like, it doesn't even feel right. So they're really awesome. So shout out to Eddie O and Team Brood on those. I think we're definitely going to be using those here real soon. Again, I don't recommend them as a practice tire, but if you want to, get them, scuffed up and run a pass or two and save them for big races, I think they're awesome. I definitely think we're going to be using them a lot more from now on. So, Chip, on whites we don't really use heavy conditioner. It's more of like like using like WAP, like a pre conditioner type of deal. Um, Again, Dave won with Pink Lemonade, which has been awesome. And honestly, when I tested a bunch of conditioners on purples, I really liked the way the Pink Lemonade felt on those. So I kind of had them ranked. It's like Pink Lemonade was number one, Invigorate was number two, and I don't remember what it was called from Pinky Tune. I don't know if it was Boom or Boom Light. One of those was really good on them as well when I felt them. So, um, again, mind you, I haven't done that same test with Mike Bush's C1, but I did feel Carl and Steve's tires with the C1 and the tar that he's using, and those felt really good. They were really good. They're also cleaning with brake clean though instead of naphtha, so that's one thing that I would like to test as well, because with Rick we've just mainly been running naphtha and everything for cleaning. So I'm really curious how the brake clean would again work with the different conditioner sets and that. So thanks, Tony. Bazonic, been using Monster Grip Crawl. See, there's another one I haven't tested, but it seems to work great. So one more to try and see how it goes. Drew, the new Gen 2 white on narrow, I think on really low bite condition would be pretty good. I did mount a pair at Maumee for Luke Harmon, and I guess his son ran them because I guess the DRC Maverick, our wide wheels don't fit. So Luke's son ran them, and I think he ran like a 149 or 148, which is his fastest hit. But I did that, or he did that with a pair of Pro HRs that I cut narrow, and they said that they were having some issues with them folding. They couldn't really go any quicker than that. So when you run them on a narrow, they do tend to like have a lower point when they start to fold. So if you're on a lower grip track and you want the sidewalls to work or act a little softer, you can go more narrow. With Frank's race being at the M1 concourse, I don't know if they're going to let him do anything to the surface other than maybe blow it off. And being the handout prep with only 3 coats, I don't expect it to be built up crazy like it is at a lot of these other races. But I think I'm going to mount some just to try, and especially trying the real street class. I do think there's potential there for them to possibly improve performance in that class, but again, just need to do more testing. So Ryan Clay is an awesome run too. You're the last one, I think, keeping us from having the top 4. So that was a bit nerve-wracking watching Rick race you in that one. So, but awesome running this weekend. Will McIver, is Barry going? No, I don't think so. I asked, I actually talked to Barry, and Barry started crying that he didn't want me to embarrass him and put him 2 laps down. So Barry Baker was going to come to the Legends race, so I still hope he comes. I tried to convince him that the point of that Legends race is to hang out and see everybody, and we're going to race, and we're gonna have some fun, and we don't. There will be no, a lot of these guys haven't, if they do show up, they haven't raced in 10, 20, 30 years. So, the point isn't to lap any of these guys or embarrass anybody. The point is just to have some fun and race and tell lots of good stories and have a good time. So, taking the race super serious is not on my agenda at all. Absolutely not. So, unless it's Lemieux, then we'll probably wreck each other a couple times. But it should be fun. Yep. Pink Lemonade C1. Yeah, Carl, to me, your tires felt the best. I really wanted Rick to try your tire process, but he's very methodical and set in his ways, as everybody saw who was watching us there the last few rounds. He's definitely a machine. So Rick is awesome. And by the way, speaking of Mr. Talbot, so there's many nights when I'm sitting down here and I'm thrashing, or not here, but upstairs or whatever, and I'm gluing tires and we're trying to work on orders and that, and or I've been down here drawing, and I'm sitting here and all of a sudden my phone goes off and I look down. Oh my God, it's 1:15 in the morning. It's Rick Talbot sending me pictures where he went testing and we were at Pontiac, and then like he sends me pictures of like the car's already torn down, the transmissions and everything inspected and already back together. Like, all right, I'm going to bed. So he totally is an absolute animal and a machine, and I wish I had the motivation and energy he has, because the next year of drag racing with him is going to be so much fun. I'm so looking forward to getting to some more races with him, because he's just absolutely phenomenal to work with and test with. So he's a great dude. What's up, Mike Bush? Man, I'm still 4 minutes behind. That's not too bad. Oh, congrats, Alex. Track record down in Midland, Texas. On whites. Yeah, Drew, for prep tire, especially at these sticky races, keep them on wides. Running air. So I think Rock, and especially all the guys out in Hawaii, are big on running air. We honestly have not tested with it at all. I mean, it should, adjusting the air pressure, you definitely could. You definitely could keep the tire from folding. I have absolutely no idea on pressures or durometers or anything those guys are running. I've been so busy. I feel bad a lot of times. I have really failed miserably to keep up with my team and what everybody's doing until I see them at a race. So, yeah, I don't know. That's I can't even answer any good questions on air in that regard. So, let's see. Yes, pinks on wides. Pretty much everybody on our team ran wides. Excuse me, both in Real Street and in Outlaw. Punt Birch. No, I really don't want to crash anybody. These, for the Legends race too, these aren't my cars. They're borrowed from Themelis and Rob DeStefano. I want to be able to finish the race, like take the battery, disconnect it, and stick them back in the box and send them. So, yeah, I don't want to destroy their car. So I really hope to keep the crashing to it. I figure I'm going to do the most of the crashing, hitting stuff on my own. So I really don't want to crash into anybody else's too, because I don't even know if these guys are going to be running their own stuff. I think we're all on a lot of borrowed stuff. So I don't think everybody wants their stuff all trashed when we send them back after the race. So, so we'll see. But like I said, it's going to be an awesome race. It's going to be fun. It'll be great to see everyone. Let's see. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Nice. Mr. Clay with some whites to test this weekend. If you need anything, stop by and see us for sure. David, I don't know how they fit on a DRC Maverick. Honestly, I haven't I haven't seen all the cars in hand to be able to sit and play with them and see how things fit. I don't know what the holdup is for what the clearance problem is to fit them. So yeah, I'm not sure. I am curious though, because DRC is making rims for our tires now. So I don't know. And I've had a few people ask me about doing different offsets. So I actually meant to ask Mr. Loopy this weekend what offset he did them, if he just did them the same as mine, or if he was pushing them around at all. But I forgot. So I was kind of busy. So, let's see. Best tire for real street, whites or purples? Real street is weird. So, again, when it gets back to dry tire stuff, it really depends on the surface. We've had some races on concrete or like really abrasive, older concrete. The creams kind of run off them. They're kind of sandpapery on the top, and like the yellows and greens are amazing. If you're running at races like this one this weekend, where you're running on prep, where you're running where they're running a lot of prep, where the track's been sprayed at all, then I would say the Gen 2s, just because that rubber generally is formulated to really bond with prep and the sticky really well. And then we've have other situations like where Sanchez went 1.9s, low 1.9s at 85 mile an hour, and those were on old V4 purples that the guys jokingly call hockey pucks because they're pretty hard. So it's so dependent on the surface and what rubber seems like it's going to work the best. So again, that's where I really want to get a real street car run and go and kind of do a lot more testing on it, to where I can almost like make like a picture guide of like this surface. If your surface kind of looks like this would be the best combinations. Or if we do just need to formulate something that has a little bit better operating window, but not not among our current Gen 2 compounds. So I've already talked to the factory, and like I said, we have a couple different compounds already coming, as well as the old V4 compounds in the Gen 2 to just kind of evaluate things and see how everything runs in those classes. So okay. Yeah, the air is, if you're really meticulous with your air pressure, I think you can get them to run extremely fast, as we've seen with with Rock and Sam and some of the Hawaii guys that have been on it. I'm not meticulous enough. Actually, probably Rick would probably be pretty good with it, but I think we're still learning so many things along the way that that's probably a little bit down the road for us to even work on. Yeah, Scott. I wonder if Scotty's going to do anything like that. If we'll have any kind of like sit down and couch and stories type discussion or whatever. I think we're like I said. I don't think it's going to be as serious as an event. Obviously, there won't be a crazy ton of people there. Hopefully, more people come on out and race with us all, and we have some fun. But I don't expect it to be too crazy, and we can hopefully open up the broadcast and tell some stories and have a good time. So let's see. I think that's it. That's all the questions so far. So is there anything else? Because we're rolling up on an hour, and well, I know everybody's going to be in my email asking me if I shipped their order yet. So I should probably like go back to the whole glue-in thing. So anything else? Anything else, gentlemen? Anything else? Anything else? All right. I'll wrap this one up then. It's been an hour. So again, congrats again to Dave. Killer job. Absolutely awesome. Joey, Steve-O, the whole R1 group, Dibble, Rock, TJ. Who am I forgetting? Sam. Who else am I forgetting? Dave, Joey, Steve-O, Rock, TJ. I think I'm missing somebody. I might get yelled at. Max, Rick, all the Custom Works group. Thank you all so much. Scotty for putting on a killer race. All of you for supporting us and being a part of this crazy journey. For sure though, it is racing. We had a good weekend this weekend. Next one can be junk. So back to heads down and elbows up, and we get back to work. So Only as good as the last one. Chad, thank you for the transmitter and the laughs. What else? I don't know. I'm tired. Catch you guys later. I'm going back to work. See ya.